hello to everyone who just joined us. We're going to be starting in about 2 minutes, but thank you for being here. All right, it is 6:30 and I believe in starting on time. So I want to introduce myself for those of you who haven't seen me before. I am Miss Reinecker. I am the principal at Donaldson Middle School. And I apologize. You see the captioning, remember that that's automated. So if you see bizarre spelling or bizarre wording, that's not me typing it. So please be patient with the closed captioning. So I'd like to welcome you all to our annual Title I meeting. But before we start that, I just want to take a minute to thank you guys for sharing your kids with us. We have had such an amazing start to the school year, and we couldn't have done that without all of your support. So we've had faster than ever return rates on our immunizations. We've had great support from families with dress codes and cell phone policies. Our kids are coming to school and doing what they need to do so that we can start learning. So I want to thank you for that. And this evening, we're going to be sharing some information that we are required by federal law to share with you every year. And we want to make sure that you learn the things you need to learn, but we also want to make sure you have a chance at the end to ask any other questions that you have. There is a chat box on this call. So if you hit the chat box, I will be monitoring it throughout the call, and I'll be helping to ask questions to Miss Pointer if there's anything. And sometimes if I don't call it out, it might be because I know it's about to come up in the presentation. But we are glad that you're all here. And I want to introduce Miss Pointer. She is our English language learners lead teacher, and she is also our Title I coordinator for the school. So she's our school improvement team lead, and I am going to let her have the show this evening. And Miss Pointer, just let me know if I'm not fast enough at advancing slides.
Okay, thank you. I want to thank you also for being here. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your evening to join us so that hopefully we can share this information with you and you can learn something about our school and about the funding and how things work. So let's get started. So we'll try not to keep you too long. Why we are here is there have been several laws that have passed. The most recent one is the Every Student Succeeds Act. and that requires all Title I schools to hold this meeting to explain to you some different things. We want to give you information about our school with Title I, explain the requirements of Title I and your rights as parents and part of a family member of our students, so that how you can be involved and help us out. So I just listed some things here about what hopefully you will learn tonight. What is a Title I school, what your rights are, the funding for it, what is SIP, the school-wide program, the parent and family engagement. You can go through and read all these, but really we just want you to be involved. We want you to contact us when you need us, and send us messages, and just, we want to be available and there for you and for your students, for your child, our students. They're very important to us, and we want to meet their needs as best we can. Okay, so a Title I school, you can see in 1965 that a law was passed. And basically it is for a school to receive extra funding for identified students who are academically having some difficulties, so that we can give them better assistance and more help. We could purchase hiring additional staff or programs or supplies, just whatever our school needs, we can use that funding for it. And so we can have trainings for parents and family members, and just different events and activities that we can use this funding for. Excuse me if I cough. I've had a bad cough for quite a while. So you have rights as parents and guardians of our students, and we want you to be involved in any decisions that we make. I know we'll be having probably a parent meeting in the spring to kind of head towards next year and what we're going to do with the funding for Title I next year. We want to give you the information that you need, and the information that your child, how they scored on their test throughout last year, and any of the teachers that teach your children, you have the right to know how they're qualified, and you can do that. We'll show you how to find that out in just a minute. You can contact Ms. Roniker for that. You can also find it at the Tennessee Department of Education, that kind of thing. You have a right to request meetings with us, to give us suggestions, to help participate in any of these decisions that we are working on with the funding of the school.
So, Ms. Pointer, it's been shared with me that they aren't necessarily seeing the slides that I'm showing. They're still seeing the first slide for some of them. So I'm going to be in the background working on trying to get them to the current slide. So, so if you lose the slides for a second, just keep on going, okay? I'm working on it.
Okay. I don't have the PowerPoint memorized, so we'll see how this goes. So basically, in general, Title I gives us funds, gives the schools funds, and we can use it in many different ways. One of the ways that we have used it a lot at our school is we hire extra teachers so that we can keep our class sizes down as much as possible, and hopefully that will help better learning, because there aren't as many students in each class. So we can have some additional teachers or paraprofessionals that are needed to come in alongside our children and give us some help. So looks like you might be seeing it now. Hope that fixed it. We can use funding for training for any of the school staff, teachers, or anybody at the school. We also have tutoring programs before school. Ms. Roniker, what time can the students get there in the morning?
8 o'clock.
Okay, that's what I thought, but I hated to say it without checking with you. So if your student needed to or wanted to get there at 8 o'clock, they have tutors available in the cafeteria where they can go in and they can work on their assignments or get help as needed. So that's a great thing. And also after school programs, I know we have NASA that is available, and maybe some others that I'm not aware of.
And we do still have just a few seats in our after-school program. It's free. It starts right after Labor Day, but those applications were in those purple folders. It's 4 days a week from Monday to Thursday from 4 to 6, and it's a free program. It's a great program. So if you are interested, you can sign up online. The link is also in that packet, or you can fill out the paperwork and send it back to the school.
Great. Thank you very much. So our school uses the funds many different ways. This year, excuse me, this year our school was allotted about a little over $326,000 in Title I funding, and that is for the whole year. And so we do several different things with it. We have added some staff members. Our Dean of Students is paid through Title I funds. We have 2 exceptional education teachers that are paid through Title I funds and an 8th grade math teacher. So we have 4 different positions of staff. And then we also have the tutoring programs before and after school. And of course, there are a lot of materials. I don't know if you were able to see the bag of school supplies that we provided at the beginning of the year for every student. But it really was about everything needed for them to start school. So lots of supplies there. So the SIP, we'll go back one slide. So the SIP is our school improvement plan, and it basically identifies our needs. It helps us to make a plan to meet the needs of each student. It helps us set our goals and strategies and action steps of how we're going to meet those needs. Ms. Roniker, you want to take over for a minute?
That's what I was just about to ask you, if you want me to do for a second. Let me know when you're ready. But so that school improvement plan is really important because it really is sort of our roadmap for the school year. So we look at where we are. You know, our director of schools says all the time that we want to know where we are, but we don't want to stay there. So it's really looking at what's going on, coming up with goals and action steps to continue to improve, making sure our teachers and staff are learning the things that they need to learn. Spending a lot of time making sure that we use the money that we have well. And we also have family representatives on that committee. And so we have a 6th grade parent who's currently serving in that role. If you'd like to have some involvement in that, let me know, and we can certainly include you. So we did have a vote at the end of last school year. We can choose to be either a school-wide program, or we can be a targeted program. Now, Ms. Pointer, while I am speaking, are you able to admit people in so that I don't have to keep sliding back and forth?
Yes, I can do that.
Perfect. So our as a school-wide program, that means that any of our students in our school can benefit. So about 80% of our students would automatically fall into that category of students who qualify for Title I funding just based off of income. As a result of that, we don't ever want to be in a situation where we have kids lining up and being told, you qualify, you don't qualify. So we are a school-wide program, which means that those supports and services are available to all of our kids. And so we are focused on making sure that everyone has engaging, rigorous, and personalized learning. We have a new ELA curriculum that we're in the 2nd year on, and we saw great things with growth. So we were towards the high end of level 3 on our ELA growth last school year. For math, we have a new curriculum that we're in our 3rd year on called Illustrative Mathematics, and I am super excited to be able to, all of this was just released this week. We were level 5 in Math for Growth, guys, and part of that is the work the hard work you've done supporting your kids, but having good curriculum matters too. We're really focused on looking at ways to reduce barriers in a lot of ways, and that's through everything from supplies to making sure that there are extra supports and services for kids, to restorative practices, to make sure that students are safe, they're at school, and they're learning. Any questions so far? Because I know that we are rocking and rolling. All right. So parent and family engagement does get a specific allocation in our Title I budget because because our district gets more than $500,000 because we're a really large district. So 1% of the district's Title I money is for family engagement. Of that 1%, 10% can go to the district and 90% goes to the schools. So basically what that means is 0.9% of the district's Title I money goes out to schools to support families. And so we work with families to make sure that we're spending that money well. Last year that came out to a little under $4,000. We have a lower enrollment this year because of the 5th grade moving back to elementary school. So that amount will be lower. We're planning to use these funds to host some literacy and math nights, to work on improving our communications to you guys about what's going to be coming up in class. So you should have gotten a newsletter the first day of school that listed like what standards all of our students were going to be covering. And we also use that funding, and this is a big part of where the funding goes, to support parent communication with things like student agendas, student newsletters, some of the things that we do to supplement that communication. So we have a parent and family engagement policy that and it was in your packet, that purple folder on the first day, talking about how you can be involved in decision making and how you can be involved in how we spend funding, things like that. You have the right to do all of that. You guys are going to see, if you're new to Donaldson in the spring, I send out copies of that again. We're always looking for feedback so that we can make tweaks and adjustments. But also, I hope that those of you who are on this call today all know that I try to be pretty responsive when parents reach out to me. So if there ever is something that you need or want to be involved in, just send me an email. And if I'm not the right contact person, I will always get you to the right contact person. So there are links here to the district's policy, the student handbook for the district, and also to our school's parent and family engagement policy. I'm realistic, and I know that following those links later might be challenging, but I will tell you that all of that information, either the links or the entire document, were in those purple folders for you on the first day, and we hope that was helpful for you. We really pushed hard to get the district to get information to us early enough to try to get you everything on that first day so it wouldn't be coming to you in bits and pieces, because I know that middle schoolers aren't always so great at getting things home right away. So what is a school and parent compact? Really what it comes down to is it's an agreement of what everyone's role is going to be in school. So what the school's going to do, like providing instruction, having parent conferences, sending home report cards, making sure that people respond when you ask, that two-way communication. So we leverage that remind text messaging a lot for that, giving opportunities to volunteer. So all of those things are there. And we want for you to be involved, because we know that you're, we know that you're the center of your kids' world, and you've known them a whole lot longer than we have. So we want to make sure that we're all working together, and that our kids know that we're all working together. I do want to let you know, and this will be coming out in one of our weekly updates real soon, we have shifted our parent conferences. Instead of them being during the school day, on the 28th. We've scheduled 2 evenings instead. We'll be sending those dates out so that hopefully it'll be a little bit easier for parents to work around their work schedules to come in for parent conferences. And so again, we sent home that parent compact already. Our curriculum follows the Tennessee standards. And we do that with everything that we do at Donaldson. We use the My Perspectives Pearson Savas literacy curriculum, and we use the Kendall Hunt illustrative math curriculum for our math classes. Testing. So this year there have been some big changes to the tests that our students are going to be taking. The district's been working hard to better align some of the testing. So instead of the MAP test 3 times a year, which students have taken, all of our students previously took the MAP test, and then part of those students also took the FastBridge. So this year we're going to be using more parts of the FastBridge test, but we're going to be using that for everyone instead of the MAP test. Our English learners are going to take the WIDA test, which is the state's test for EL students. All of our students are going to take the 10 ready tests with the goal of being on track or mastered. So last year, our growth scores for math was level 5 and for literacy was level 3. So we were really, really proud of our students. The testing dates for next year, they always start in the middle of April, but they have not actually given us the final official, these are the exact dates that testing will be yet, but that's going to be coming soon. If you want to be involved, because we know that engaged parents impact student achievement. So we want you to be involved. So if you want to be involved in the SIP and parent and family engagement and the school parent compact, or just anything else, give me a shout. You can send me an email, just reply to one of my weekly updates, or you can give us a call at the school. You can be involved. And the first one here is one of the most important, and that's encouraging attendance. Students who are in school do better in school, and I don't think that's a surprise to anybody here. But last year, we all know that with quarantines and with isolations, attendance was a challenge. So this year, we're really pushing, and we're going back to the to following exactly those state guidelines for what is excusable and what's not. The COVID guidelines are a little bit different now this year. So if a student has COVID, it can't count as virtual learning anymore. That's from the state. So it would be an excused absence for up to 5 days initially, and then depending on the status of symptoms and testing, Nurse Karen would help you determine if they needed to stay out any longer or not. You can also monitor grades and attendance on Schoology or in Campus Parent. You can attend family events and meetings like this one, and thank you guys for being here tonight. You can come and observe and volunteer in classrooms. If you want to come and visit classrooms, we do ask that you let us know in advance. And making sure that you read the stuff that we send home, whether it's newsletters, whether it's notes from teachers, whether it's my remind messages and weekly updates. So make sure that you know what's going on so that you can help your child be involved as well. If you need any help, your best bet is to call the front office. The way our phones work now, pretty much all of the calls will have to go through there and be transferred to the right place. To email a teacher. Basically, the formula for an email address for pretty much anybody is the first name dot last name at mnps.org. So for example, mine is Jennifer.Reinecker at mnps.org, and Miss Pointer's is Jill.Pointer at mnps.org. So if you're not sure of the email address, that's a good way to get pretty close to it. You can also just email it to me and I'll get it to the right place. And if you can't spell my long, scary German last name, if you send an email to Donaldson at mnps.org, just Donaldson at mnps.org, a little known secret is that comes straight to me. So I just want to say one more time, thank you again. Do we have any questions?
Questions or comments about anything?
I had just it's a one-off. My son missed the first day of school, so he didn't get his purple folder, and I didn't know anything about it until today. So I need that to be sent.
Just have him come to my office in the morning. I have a whole bunch of them on my table.
Awesome. Thank you.
No problem.
Mhm.
Well, again, thank you guys so much. I think that we're wrapped up for this evening, but as always, please just reach out to me anytime that you need anything. We really do try very hard to be responsive and to take care of you as quickly as possible.
Thank you. And I just wanted to say that I think that the school year has started out better than, any of the ones previously. And I want to thank you. And I know it took a lot of organization and thought and planning to do that. So I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And you guys helped to make that possible too.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you. Good night.
Thanks so much. Good night.
Good night.
Have a good night.
Appreciate it. Thanks for joining us.
Okay, Ms. Pointer.